Reed jumping center with the 7-footer Medley Bacon, and the first possession belongs to the Cowboys. LSU opens in man-to-man defense. Quick shot up from the left side, and that's a little bit long. The very rapid three-pointer missed by Francois. Offensive rebound, though, for the Cowboys, and a quick traveling violation.
That's one thing he's not going to be used to through their first 3 games, is coming up against a guy like the side of Efton Reed at 6'11". Doesn't give up that much size. He pulled the rebound down, but Reed gave him nowhere to go. He tried to go baseline and got the turnover.
Here's the LSU starting lineup. Murray, Pinson, Days, Wilkinson, and Reed as the Tigers look to get out in front. Pinson can't penetrate, kicks it out. Plenty of time on the shot clock as we get to 10 seconds remaining to fire. Here's Reed. He'll take one from 18. Yes! Efton Reed, the big guy, backs out and hits the long-range jump shot.
And he hit a three-pointer in their win the other night against Liberty, showing that he can stretch out that range a little bit, not just somebody that has to play around the rim.
Massey, Lewis, Francois Taylor, and Medley Bacon, the opening quintet for McNeese.
Really poor cross-court pass that time for McNeese, and Brandon Murray there to deflect it and get the turnover for the Tigers.
This is Days powering his way in, shoots high off the rim and didn't get it there. Cowboys trailing 2-0 on the early long two-pointer by Reed. LSU in a bit of a zone right now, and another takeaway. Murray on the move. Gets it to go. He survived the contact and was able to spin it in. The 6'5" freshman from Baltimore, averaging 8.7 points.
Oh, and just showing his strength to be able to get up there amongst those defenders and still power his way in with a little finesse on that finger roll on that layup.
A year ago, he was Mr. Basketball in the state of Maryland in the high school ranks, and here's the 4th turnover by the Cowboys in the very early going. Days loops it up, misses, gets a hand on his own rebound, and saves it into the hands of Pinson. Murray will take a 3. Taylor weaving, gets into the lane, scoops and misses right side, and it was touched last by Days.
The Cowboys got to find a way to calm down a little bit. First possession after getting the tip, they at least got a shot up off the rim. But then remember, after that rebound, it was travel and then 3 straight turnover possessions in a row for McNeese as LSU cranking up the defense early. And that's been one of the many points Will Wade talked about this week, wanting to see his team improve on out of the gates.
Taylor almost lost the dribble. Shot clock at 7. Shot clock at 4. And a held ball will give it back to LSU as the Tigers really clamp the defense down, Wilkinson in particular.
You've seen him do that early on this season in every game the Tigers have played. Look how he reaches in, gets a hand around the ball, fighting for it as they go down, and just another lost opportunity for McNeese on the offensive end.
That's 5 turnovers in the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Pinson has that one blocked and then picks it up, and the tip is no good by Reed. Ball hits the floor, and finally the Cowboys come away with it.
Well, that might have been poetic justice for McNeese to get the ball because Pinson got away with one. His feet came back down on the floor on that hop step. They didn't get him for the travel, but that's going to be another tie ball.
This time the arrow will favor the Cowboys as Reed was wrestling that one away.
See, and Medley Bacon's probably used to be able to give him the ball down there and then he can put it over his head because nobody's big enough to tie him up. But he's got 6'11" on him and he's 7'1". He bends down like that. He went right into Days and tried to bring it up, and he brought it right up to Reed, who was able to tie him up over his head.
It's going to be fun to watch that matchup. Efton Reed at 6'11", Brendan Medley Bacon at 7 feet 1 inches, and Victor, they're both lean as lances. Offensive foul and yet another turnover. Half a dozen already for the Cowboys.
Head coach John Aiken from McNeese is probably looking at the clock, realizing if he can buy another 47 seconds, he'll get a media timeout and not have to call one. Just the fact that they're only down 4-0 Might be a small win for the Cowboys. There's looking Aiken. There's Will Wade.
LSU is 2 for 7 from the floor. The Cowboys have only offered 2 shots. Reed from outside. Wilkinson had his hands on the rebound, but it's taken away.
That's something that Efton Reed doesn't have to do a lot of. He's shown he can do it, but he'll probably get opportunities tonight if he wants, because Medley Bacon's not going to go cover from 23 feet.
A quick release 3 is good by Francois. He's a transfer from Southern Illinois. He had 12 points against Christian College. Murray from outside misses. And the Cowboys, despite all of their problems, can take the lead with this possession. Reed reaches in and tips the entry pass away. Murray puts it on the floor, but traveled before the dribble was effective, and we've got a timeout right here at 15:41. A slow start for both teams. It's been pocked by turnovers by the Cowboys so far, but LSU only leads 4-3. 2015, 81-70 in that one. McNeese has not had much success overall against Southland Conference. Against SEC teams. Cowboys are 5-41, Victor, against SEC opposition. The last win against an SEC team was 2014. That's our first quiz for you tonight. Against whom did the Cowboys win in the SEC?
That would be a trip to Starkville. That would be Mississippi State.
I cannot get anything past you early.
Would you like the score? I was ready with that, too. You didn't know I was ready for that one.
Go ahead.
66-47. Won it going away against the Bulldogs.
McNeese in blue. The Cowboys have only offered, that was only the 4th shot. LSU is 2 for 9. Now make it 3 for 10. Xavier Pinson rams down the 3-pointer.
I think his development at the point position for the Tigers will be one of the more important ones we see throughout this season.
Well, he is a veteran despite, there's turnover number 8. Pinson started every game for Missouri last year, and he pretty much was a 3-year starter for Missouri. He averaged 13.6 points for the Missouri Tigers a year ago with 3 assists and had 18 double-digit scoring games for Missouri last season. So he's a guy who has played certainly at the highest level.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you why I said what I said about his role here. Remember, you had Tremont Waters here, right?
Right.
He left early, and who took his plate? Devontae Smart. Smart was not a true point guard. He thinks shot first, pass second. Pinson does not. And Xavier now coming in as a true point guard position who can score. There's no doubt he can score, as he just made that corner shot, and he's got great numbers from Missouri. But his development with this LSU team is a true point. When you've got somebody like Days who could do what he does, when you've got a big man on the inside like Reed, that's why I think Pinson will be one of the more important players to watch this year.
Eason with the last bucket off the bench for LSU, and McNeese counters with Miles Lewis, who's averaging 11.7 points for the Cowboys, and that's second on the team behind Medley Bacon's 13.7. So both teams finding the range a little bit more often now in this last couple of minutes. 9-5 LSU with the lead. Nice backdoor cut, and a foul is called, or perhaps the ball slapped out of bounds as Alex Fudge was trying to work the baseline.
Christian Shoemate, it was good hands because you're right. It was an excellent backdoor cut, but Shoemate, number 24, on the baseline for the Cowboys, was able to get his body between the pass and his man. Was able to deflect it out of bounds and to avoid the easy layup for LSU.
7 seconds to shoot, and the throw-in coming from the baseline. LSU had trouble getting it into somebody, and Gaines just finally was able to get another possession and another try. There's Will Wade stalking the sideline. Finally, the throw over the top to Pinson. Puts it on the floor. Lobs it down low. Flush from the right side. Well done. Pinson to fudge. The 6'8 freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, averaging 6 points. He's 6. The Tigers will pick up in backcourt loosely for the first time. A 6-point lead for the home team. Reed came over and certainly bothered T.J. Moss, who tried to take it down the left side of the lane.
Well, I think he was hoping for a foul because that up and under, he was well short. Take a look at the drive. It gets deflected, so it'll stay Cowboys ball. But you could tell he was looking for that call because that did not have a chance of even making the backboard, let alone the rim.
Eason was the first defender, and there's another pass. It's stolen, and the lay-in is good by Xavier Pinson.
Body control by Pinson, knowing he was going to get the contact. Slows down with basically like a Euro step. It just goes down the lane and hits the brakes, and another turnover for LSU's defense.
Almost stolen back. The Tigers collect the loose ball. Tipped in with the left hand by Reed. Efton Reed with a couple of buckets, the freshman out of Richmond, Virginia, a 5-star recruit, the 24th rated overall player in the country last year out of high school, and the number 3 rated center in the land.
And it's this right here that has Medley Bacon coming back in off the bench, because you've got 6'8 with the layup, 6'11 with the tap in, and nobody on the floor in a blue jersey that can contend with that size. So Medley Bacon then quickly back off the bench during that dead ball to get him back on the floor.
15-5, LSU has its biggest lead. 12.5 to play. Right now, McNeese with more turnovers than points. And a foul called on LSU. I think it's Murray. That's his first.
The numbers right now not working well for McNeese. They have 7 field goal attempts, 5 points, and 10 turnovers.
Nicely done, and a whistle. The bucket to Christian Shoemate, a 6'7 freshman out of Chicago. And Victor, he played earlier in his career at the same university you did, Tulsa.
Sure did. Transferred down to Lake Charles, and you can see where Reed put his hands down. Watch again from underneath the basket. Reed tries to slide over position, but you see that left arm as it comes down on him, and that's just great strength by Shoemate to make that move and to challenge the big man. Went right at him to draw the foul.
He cannot complete the three-point play. Reed snaps off the rebound. That was rebound number 3 for Reed. Medley Bacon leads everybody with 4. We have played nearly 8 minutes in the first half. Welcome to Baton Rouge from wherever you may be watching on the SEC ESPN Network. Victor Howell, Lynn Rollins with you. Thank you for joining us tonight from the Maravich Center. Reed from distance missed it badly. That's an ill-advised shot from the pinch post extended.
That's one when LSU can go ahead and put him down on the blocks and let him challenge.
This for 3. Online, but off the rim. Trey English got his hands on the rebound. It's taken by teammate T.J. Moss. He's on the move. Kicks it to the big guy inside. Throws up a hook and a whistle. And Medley Bacon was fouled in the attempt. 2 shots will be coming, but first we will step aside. 11 minutes and 16 seconds remain in the first half in Baton Rouge.
And the success he had at the other levels before he became an assistant in Lake Charles.
Medley Bacon collects the free throw. That's his first point tonight. He was 7 of 8 at the free throw line before those 2. LSU has forced a lot of turnovers already, and it's 17th in the country, Victor, in forcing turnovers. It has forced its opponents into an average of 12 1/3 turnovers, or I should say steals, each and every time out. So LSU has taken the ball away with some regularity.
10 turnovers forced already tonight, 10 points. They're basically getting a point per turnover. We've seen that ratio a lot higher for these Tigers, but right now they're leading by 7, and 10 points are off their turnovers. I'm surprised at the number of outside shots LSU is settling for so early in this game. When you have a size advantage across the board, minus the center position, and you can scratch that one out because Reed's only giving up 2 inches and definitely has them on size. I'm surprised LSU has settled so much for the outside jumpers.
They've taken 4 3-pointers and at least that many 18-footers. Now 5 3-pointers.
5 threes and made 1. And that was Pinson in the corner.
Scott misses that one from distance. Gaines on the move. Another outside ball. Mays up. And he kind of wiped his brow as if to say, what kind of shot was that, as he turned and went up court.
He airballed that one. His last outside one missed badly left. Remember, Reed had one that clanked off the backboard and wasn't even close. Again, when you're not hitting from the outside and you're not feeling it, you start working closer to the rim and then work your way back out. Find that rhythm and find some of that confidence. It's just a slow start for LSU on the offensive end.
And very clearly, LSU has a low post advantage over McNeese.
They basically have it across the board. Got a hockey line change here. 4 Cowboys go out. 2 Tigers go out. We got a full hockey lineup going in here, in and out of this ball game in this timeout. Lots of substitutions, but yeah, I think across the board they've got size advantages where you can post them up or come off screens and drive to the basket.
This for 3 from in front of the LSU bench. It rims out by Francois. Tigers on the move. Pinson leaves it for Days. He lost his dribble. It's been a slow start for Days. And the scoop is up. It's in and a foul. Very nicely done by Trey English.
Pinson put himself in position to try to draw the charge, but English showing some English. Watch coming right at you. See how he stepped to the side to try to avoid the contact, and English off the glass to get that roll and a chance to go to the line.
That's his first bucket tonight.
Heads up play by English, knowing that Pinson was already ahead of him, holding his position for the charge.
Mays pulls off the rebound. The Cowboys have scored 5 straight points after trailing 15-5. Offensive foul against LSU in what has been a sloppy first 10 minutes for both teams.
You've had 10 turnovers. You're down 5. You've missed 3 free throws. This could be a completely different ball game, and as it is, McNeese is getting a win just being down 5. He was late on that swing. Had him wide open. Nice drive nonetheless for the Cowboys, but a quicker pass to the wing. He would have had that jump shot. That was really good ball movement by the Cowboys as they caught the Tigers in a rotation on defense. They were man down.
And Wilkinson climbed the ladder for that last defensive rebound. This is a much closer game than anybody anticipated as Days finally gets into the scoring column.
See, and he went up on Kellen Taylor, number 12, who's given up 3 inches and 40 pounds. Days can dominate that as long as he wants until they tire him out. He could find success on the inside.
Lewis skids the 3-pointer across the rim, and McNeese steps out of bounds after grabbing the rebound as Taylor made contact with the boundary.
Another long drive for the Cowboys now, one of their last 8 from the floor.
But LSU has been unable to string buckets together. 8 of 21. That's 38% for LSU in the first half. The Cowboys are even worse at 4 for 16. Eason will try from 3. And he's got it. Tari Eason averaging 11.3 points a game. And Victor, this he has done very quietly. He actually is the leading rebounder for LSU, Eason, at 7.7 a game. That's blocked from behind by Eason.
Eason getting that block. Now 5 of 7 from behind the line on the year is Easton with that made three-pointer that he just had a moment ago.
Well, he averaged 7.3 points and 6 rebounds a game for Cincinnati last year.
You see him from behind, come up clean block as his ball's exposed. Massey goes up and leaves it open with just one arm, and it made for the easy block. There's another block.
Here comes LSU. Murray will take it himself. He's hammered and he scores, and he'll go to the line. Brandon Murray was able to ward off the contact. It was enough for the whistle. The lay-in was good. Murray will be shooting a free throw when we come back. 7:47 to go. First half. LSU behind Murray's layup makes it 22-10. Tigers lead the Cowboys.
Fuel your grind with Gatorade's proven formula.
That'll be their new home. Right now they've been playing at Burton. When they can play games, it's at Burton, and then they're playing a lot of road games. They hope to be back at the Legacy Center, Lynn, when their South End Conference schedule starts in January.
And Victor, unfortunately, it's the reopening. This is the second time that they've opened that Legacy Center. They had it open before the hurricane, and then a year and a half later, the thing goes underwater again, and it's been a long rehabilitation of that building, which actually is a multi-purpose academic and athletic building. The Cowboys turn it over again as English thought he saw an opportunity to bounce that pass across the lane, and nothing was there.
I was going to say, just to finish the thought, I know how much they've worked hard. You were even telling me before the game, it's not just basketball. Their press box for the football stadium condemned because of hurricane damage 14 months ago, and that's going to take another, 2.5 years to play. So they're still doing everything they can to let the student athletes perform and come and do what they want to do while they're still trying to pick up the pieces from a year ago.
All of the Cowboy football games this season were day games because the lights are inoperable. They will be fixed and replaced for next season. Those noon games in September are brutal.
I bet they are. A little sticky, a little hot.
Frank Wilson, the former LSU assistant football coach, the head coach over with the Cowboys.
Tigers on a bit of a run now. The 8-0 run over last minute and a half. Make it 10. Look at that beautiful up and under. Great body control there by Gaines on left baseline, up and under. Make it a 10-0 run.
You know his nickname, Eric Gaines? The real one. The real one. That was a real shot.
And this is what Tigers can do, and we've seen it last couple of games. With the UL Monroe game, they ran away with early. Here's another look at him. D.A. Real with the number 1, with the number 2 underneath the up and under. Beautiful body control off the glass. Look, that first game against UL Monroe, LSU ran away with it from the start. Last 2 games, they've been sluggish out the gates, but boy, when they get in spurts like this is what puts teams away. It's a 10-0 run in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, McNeese has had a scoring drought of 3 minutes and 1 for its last 11 from the floor. Make it 12.
That shot from the pinch post missed by Scott. Gaines fakes left, dribbles right, loses it. Open 3. Off the iron. Eason had his hands on the rebound momentarily. And with 6 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the opening half, LSU's 15-point lead has a chance to get a little bigger here. Eason for 3, online but long, and a strong rebound pulled off by Shoemate. The Tigers will come the other way after the missed triple. Open look in front of the McNeese bench, and the conversion by Gaines. So he goes inside, and then he goes outside.
1 of 10 now for the Cowboys from deep. 3 of 10 now for LSU from long range.
Gaines on the season is 3 for 7 in three-point shooting. Shot clock at 2. And a shot clock violation. The shot left the hand of the shooter, but it did not draw iron. And so the shot clock violation gives LSU another opportunity offensively and yet another turnover, Victor.
That's 10 shot clock violations for LSU's defense through the first 3 games and first half of this ball game.
That's remarkable. We want you to stay with us at halftime. We've got some interesting stuff coming your way, including a look at the national basketball picture by Jay Billis. Murray misses from outside. Reed among 2 or 3 other teammates battling for it.
Boy, if we get another replay, if we happen to get a replay from that angle, you'll see it was 1 white jersey and 4 blue jerseys. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the size advantage for the Tigers at every position in this ball game. Yes, I know that Reed is giving up 2 inches, but he's got more size to him than does Medley Bacon for McNeese. But that was 1 Tiger and 4 Cowboys fighting for it.
Eason drops in the first free throw. He's come off the bench to score 6 quick points. You talked about the 7-footer, Medley Bacon. He does not have a field goal in the first half. Reed with a couple for 4 points. And 7 now for Eason.
Remember, he tried to take that attempt early in the ball game. That's when he got forced into travel because he turned around and was looking eye to eye with Reed and turned the ball over.
That scoop at the hoop didn't get there. An open look by Scott. And LSU quickly down court. We'll go to the free throw line again with Alex Fudge having the opportunities. And the Tigers will reinsert Darius Days.
As an opponent, that's where it can get really depressing. You realize they've been on this big run, and Days has been on the bench.
Fudge has converted now 8 for 11 free throws, counting that one on the season. 3 points tonight for the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, averaging 6 off the bench and 3 1/3 rebounds.
Tigers have played 8 players, 7 have scored. Wilkinson, the only one that hasn't scored yet for the Tigers, but none of them in double figures. Everybody balanced tonight so far for the guys in white.
Murray and Pinson have 5 each. Fudge has 4, Days with 2, and Reed 4. That's the quintet on the court right now. Reverse layup comes up a little bit short. The follow slam attempt is not converted by Shoemate. Tigers come back, launch a quick 3, and it's no good, long off the hand of Pinson. Here's Taylor. He will shoot a couple of free throws. 4:25 to play, first half.
Well, if he can make one here, it'll snap a scoring drought of 5:21 for the Cowboys, who in the span have gone 1 for 17.
4 for 25 from the floor for the Cowboys. Reed has a couple of fouls. And 2 shots coming for Taylor. He has played prior to McNeese at the University of Albany and also Duquesne, where he played football and basketball. He was a wide receiver at Duquesne in addition to his basketball skills.
And not just a guy that was on the bench. He led the team in receptions.
Right.
53 receptions for 558 yards and 5 touchdowns at Duquesne. And the scoring drought continues as he goes 0 for at the line.
5.5 minutes without scoring has been the McNeese story here lately. 32-10 LSU. Days tries to power his way in. That fingertip layup didn't get there. That ball just rolled off his hand short. This has not been a good first half offensively for Darius Days.
Nope. I was say you see it on your screen, a 17-0 run, make it 19-0 run in the last 5 minutes now for LSU. Remember, it was 15-10, and we were talking about how in the game you're only down 5, you've missed 3 field goals, you've got 10 turnovers, yet you're right back to California to make sure the rehab process would start just like LSU wants it, and then was on a red-eye back because he wanted to be back for the team in their next game against Texas State.
Sean Eddy, of course, before his stint with the men's basketball team, was a long-time athletic trainer for the LSU baseball team. T.J. Moss tosses in a triple. That's the second 3-ball of the night for the Cowboys, who are 2 for 13. 13 is an unlucky number. They've had 13 turnovers. Gaines tried to take it inside, and it was swatted away by the 7-footer, Brendan Medley Bacon. That's his second block of the game.
Nothing wrong with challenging on the inside. Chance you could get a foul. That time you just give credit to the 7-1 center, able to get a clean block.
LSU running away with it, 34-13. Moss has that one blocked by Eason outside. Murray tries to go baseline, puts it up with the left hand, no good, and the rebound is grabbed on the floor by McNeese. Francois knocks down the 3. That's his second of the game. He had 10 points against TCU. That's been his best outing. And he's got 10 triples now on the season. That's the most for the Cowboys.
He's one of those that transferred in. Used to play with the Salukis from Southern Illinois.
Eason will try to match it from distance. Nobody there on the offensive glass for the Tigers. 2 minutes and some change to go. Again, we invite you to stay close by at halftime. We've got some interesting stuff for you, including Will Wade talking about the things that he wants done this season, and a feature from ESPN on the national program of basketball. Look at these turnovers. McNeese with 13 tonight.
They've actually slowed that pace a little bit because they were on 10 for the longest time. And they had 10 quickly out the gates. Started to get a little better possession. LSU still doing very well with just 5.
Medley Bacon has not been a factor offensively. His best game was against champion Christian. He didn't miss a shot, Victor. He was 8 for 8 from the floor and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Eason beats his man and lays it in.
Boy, quick move on left side, and then to go inside hand for Eason. Explosiveness onto the glass and get that ball up and in.
That's 11 for Eason. He is the leading scorer in this game, and they've come off the bench. That's his season's average in the first half. Tigers by 20. Days claims the defensive rebound. Days on the move, snakes his way through, and fingertip rolls it home.
Yeah, he caught Medley Bacon trying to come out at him, and he was never going to stop his motion to the basket. 1 Euro step away, and he was on his way to the rim, and another steal by LSU.
Benson up with a lob, and the flush by Murray. 7 for Murray.
LSU saw McNeese put together a quick 6-0 run with those 2 3-pointers, and they said, all right, I'll see your run, and we'll match it now with a 9-0 run for LSU.
Days starting to heat up, and this is the largest lead. That's the first triple of the game for Darius Days, who was ineffective for most of the first half, but he's starting to warm up a bit, and the Tigers have a 43-16 lead. An easy rebound for LSU. Eason brings it up court and throws it away at the buzzer.
while the Cowboys are struggling to get any sort of consistent offense going.
So it's Murray and Pinson, Days, Wilkinson, and Reed on the floor for LSU. Massey, Lewis, Taylor, Francois, and Medley-Bacon for McNeese. LSU in white with the first possession. And a turnover as Days lost it. Free throws will be coming for McNeese. This will be Miles Lewis. He had a bucket in the first half, and that was it. A graduate student out of Herndon, Virginia. He played at VMI.
Started 18 games there, played 22, scored over 10 points and 7.5 rebounds a game. Nice backdoor cut there as LSU opens up the half. Darius Days in the turnover, looked like he wanted to shoot and then wanted to change his mind and lost possession. And then Lewis comes down, nice backdoor drive to the basket to get to the line.
Lewis has been a very good free throw shooter this year. He's now 10 for 11, and he misses that one. Came into the game 9 for 10, so he's 10 for 12 now. Reed with his back to the bucket. The two big guys battling each other. Reed's half hook comes up short.
Well, boy, that sure is fun to watch. I'd like to see more because you don't see that much anymore in basketball. It's such an outside game. You don't see two bigs just battling one-on-one underneath in the paint. A little far away from the basket as the jump hook came up short, but love seeing that battle.
The big guy tried to take it inside, and Darius Days got a paw on it and raked it free.
Yeah, he had Pinson on a switch, tried to take advantage of the size, and there it is with Reed underneath. So on one end, Medley-Bacon had Pinson switched off on him, but he couldn't keep control of the ball, and then he gets down on the other end and gets beat on the inside by Reed, who gets the easy two.
3 buckets for Reed in the game, 6 points. And a 10-second call is made against the Cowboys. They did not get over the line in time. LSU will trigger it from midcourt. And now they'll move it down to about quarter court.
Jonathan Mass is really coming out high. Another turnover for LSU.
Days' pass was a little bit off the mark to Murray.
Slow start for LSU on offense in the first half. Slow here in the second half. Good rebound there by Days. I was saying Jonathan Massey, number 2, was really trying to D up Xavier Pinson out deep. And I'm not sure if he watched a lot of film against UL Monroe, but Pinson can put on a dribbling clinic. You got to be careful.
He can break your ankles with that spin move.
And he'll do it more than once on the same possession.
Offensive rebound by the shooter Days, and he goes down as he was off balance. Once he got a hand on it, Reed also hit the deck.
A lot of big bodies hitting the floor with no whistle, and then Days got it on the second opportunity. Take a look at Days, gets challenged in the air, gets down by the big man, and then Reed's going to go down, and then he goes down.
You know what's interesting, Victor? Days, despite all of the offensive opportunities he creates, this is only his 7th trip to the free throw line. He's 6 for 7 now in free throws, but you would think he would have shot a lot more than that, wouldn't you?
You would when you look at the body style, but remember when we saw him in that game against UL Monroe, and you go look at his shot chart, taking a lot from the mid-range and the deep part of the floor, and teams are just, you're schooled and you're taught you don't foul players that far away. So with his size, he can certainly convert and go to the inside. What a beautiful pass.
What a pass by Pinson, but Wilkinson could not finish. Days for 3. On line but long. Tipped around. Pinson diving for it. Pinson holds on. Knocked away by Lewis. Players are hitting the floor everywhere as Days makes contact with Massey for McNeese.
Oh, it's great hustle all the way around. Everybody hitting the floor. McNeese had a chance for a breakaway. Couldn't get control of the ball. Days trying to go after it.
That looked like somebody had a handful of marbles and just rolled it out there. 46-17. LSU comfortably ahead of McNeese. The Tigers this year have wins over ULM 101-39. Texas State 84-59. Liberty challenged the Tigers on this court for a while, but a spurt over the last 8 or 9 minutes gave LSU a 74-58 win over Liberty.
Boy, Will Wade's going to be furious, and he has a right to be. There was an unbelievably obvious hook that Medley Bacon had trying to dribble around. I mean, his wingspan is so big. He hooked him and basically had him in a reverse bear hug to get around, and then got away with a travel as he went to the basket. You notice not a lot of reaction from the McNeese bench, and I think they're just trying to lay low and see if they can get these shots off. That's the most aggressive we've seen their big man try to get to the basket, but there was a big-time hook to get there.
Medley Bacon still does not have a bucket. And only 2 points.
We mentioned earlier he transferred in from VCU. Wanted to play there, and he waited his time. That's a little body check. That'll be a foul. He waited his time at VCU. The problem was he had 3 players he had to wait behind, and all of them were all Atlantic 10 players. He just wasn't going to see the floor. He said, I got to get out of here. I need an opportunity. He wound up landing at McNeese for that opportunity.
He also started his career at Coppin State. Gaines. Open three. Eason comes up a little short from the wing.
You couldn't convert, but that's a great play.
It is.
Reed's right there close to the basket, but he reads that he's got 2 bodies on him, and he looks to the outside as a wide open teammate. That's a great kick out. He just didn't hit the shot, and that's okay.
A defensive gem by Wilkinson as he went around the player without fouling and was able to knock it loose. Eason gets to the rim and scores.
Well, that's now 18 turnovers for the Cowboys, and make that 2 more points for LSU off the turnovers. 18 turnovers have led to 26 LSU points. It's a plus 19 for LSU in that category.
Eason leads everybody in scoring with 13. He's the only player in double figures on the court. Nice lob down low, right for the bucket by Taylor. That's his first bucket. Kellen Taylor, a 6'6" graduate student who has played at the University of Albany and Duquesne. LSU by 28. Reed from 10 off the window. 8 for him. 2 buckets in each half. LSU by 30. Lewis goes baseline, pulls up, shoots, uses the front rim, and scores. That's his second bucket. He's got 5 points. Gaines splits the defenders, kicks it out, open 3 from the wing. Didn't quite get there by Xavier Pinson. And we will take a timeout.
But still for the game, 8 of 34, so 23%. Not much of a huge jump, but it's a jump that'll help you at least look a little more encouraged if you're the Cowboys to find some kind of offense as they get another bucket there.
That was the first bucket tonight by Medley Bacon. 4 points for the 7'1" center. Days is right there for the offensive rebound, and when he gets that position, there's not much you can do about him defensively.
9 rebounds now for Days, gives him 10 points, so 1 rebound away from a double-double. Just 4 of 11 from the floor. You mentioned it earlier, Lynn. We had so much fun in that first game where he couldn't miss from 30 feet with the 3-pointers. And we talked about how great that would be to happen every time, but you knew that wouldn't happen. Tonight, just 4 of 11 from the floor. Moss. Easy rebound for
LSU's Eason. This will go back to McNeese.
A little goaltend action there from the 7-1 center for the Cowboys. Here's another look. Eason with the drive, and you can see where the ball comes in off the glass. Probably Bacon with the block.
That's kind of a 50-50 call, isn't it? No? 75-25?
No. Look, when you're 7-1, everything all looks big when you want to go there to get the block.
Days goes down hard and gets up with some help.
Well, he's hit the floor 4 or 5 times tonight pretty hard, battling in there. Loose ball out here in midcourt. Had one earlier when he tried to take it to the glass. Got taken down. Take another look at Days as you see the Tigers on the break. 3-on-1. Gets slapped across the arm by Trey English. Strong enough, and you know, if you're English, that's what you want to do. Don't be malicious with the foul, but make sure he doesn't get the easy layup and make him earn him at the line.
Days, after a slow start offensively, now has 11. He's the second Tiger in double figures. Eason has 13. The senior from Raleigh, Florida, about halfway to his season's average of 24.3. What a rebound by Murray. He went up behind a McNeese player and avoided contact. Days has it slapped loose. McNeese coming the other way. 2-on-1 break. That pass off the window is fumbled, but then laid in by Shoemate.
And down the other end for LSU without getting as fancy. It counts with a chance for the and one. McNeese trying to find something to have a little fun with. They tried the alley-oop off the glass. Doesn't work. But they get the 2, and then LSU quickly down the floor, and there's the muscle man as Days powers his way in and is able to get it off the glass and in. Look at that last time out for LSU as well when they beat Liberty. He didn't have a great start to that game, but in the second half, Days came out. He was 4 or 5 from deep in the second half, finished with 26 points, found his range once again.
Pretty good night when you don't have your game and you score 26.
Exactly right. Set some high standards. That's the 4th air ball we've seen from McNeese from deep.
Scott with a very quick, ill-advised shot. Days loops it up. It skids across the rim. Rebound to Scott. And the Tigers try to take it away, but a whistle is called. And they are going to get an LSU player for a foul, and that looks like Milwaukee Wilkinson. It's his 3rd.
Try to go quick hands there on the spin move.
Wilkinson has only attempted 1 shot tonight. He missed it. He's a guy who's not known for shooting often, but he's very well known for scoring when he shoots. He was 40 of 51 last year from the floor. Can you believe that?
You wonder where he get some more shots up, right?
Yep. Had a couple of uncles, did Wilkinson, play in the NBA. Sam Smith and Willie Smith.
You know what he does very well, too, is on his defensive side. He's got 3 steals tonight.
Yep. Contact. Gaines throws it up with the left hand, and he will go to the line. Trey English with that foul.
Yeah. English got the worst of that in multiple ways. They wound up switching off, and English was on Reed, giving up, about a foot plus, trying to cover Reed on the right side of the lane. Then he slid over to the left side to try to draw the charge, and instead got the block.
Gaines, a 6'2 sophomore from Lithonia, Georgia. He played in every game for the Tigers last year as a freshman and had one start. Had 10 points a couple of times against SEC opponents. He is looking for point number 7. .12:08 to go. LSU by 33.
That's a turnover. Yeah, Will Wade has got his team working on everything now. There's 1 second left on the 10-second clock, so McNeese has to be paying attention to get this ball past midcourt. Wade's opening up the can now. He's trying everything. He's had the zone press. Now he's going man trap press. Has him working on everything. Wants him to run through all aspects of their game. There's the steal.
And a foul. And a Tiger goes tumbling into the front row.
She wanted to. Some of the outside shots they have settled for. Some of them quick triggers. They could have gone inside, and that number could be well higher for LSU.
Well, a lane violation will take away the free throw. Just under 12 minutes to play, 61-27.
Here's another look for LSU. There's a 1-3-1 half-court defense now.
Scott from way back knocks it down. First bucket for Zach Scott, the 6'4 junior from Miami. He played at Florida Gulf Coast last year, where he averaged about 10 1/3 points. And the Tigers come right back with a triple.
Lonnie Wilkinson from the corner.
That's his first bucket tonight. He's not a guy who will launch a lot of threes, Victor. It's only his fourth attempt. He's 2 for 4 on the season.
Like that 20 turnovers now for the Cowboys. As LSU came out of the timeout, went 1-3-1 half court, and then immediately changed it after the made 3. Went back to a 2-2-1. So Will Wade giving all sorts of looks. And not only from McNeese, but anybody who's going to use this game to scout. That's now one more thing you have to prepare for.
Easton tried to dribble between a couple of defenders, and that ball was easily swatted away. Speaking of swatted away, Wilkinson gets involved in the block party. And he gets up limping a bit, holding that right leg.
Take a look at the hustle here. Cowboys trying to drive the basket. Wilkinson goes high up there to get the block. Reed's there, doesn't want to draw the foul. Wilkinson goes aerial.
And he comes down on that right leg with all of the gravity force.
And then Xavier Benson, who did his best to try to save it, who went up and over the McNeese bench.
Easton gets it back. Easton turns, misses off the window. Rebound ripped off by Shoemake.
Good hands inside by Brandon Murray on the baseline to steal that bounce pass.
Wilkinson with the turnaround. Comes up short. Easton hooks it in. Tari Eason, the sophomore out of Los Angeles, by way of the University of Cincinnati, having another nice game. He's got 15 tonight. That's 4 above his average. Eason takes a flat-footed rebound. That's number 14. 17 points, 14 rebounds for Eason off the bench.
You mean 19 points?
Yes, I do.
Just adding to it, showing that explosiveness to get to the basket.
A 19-14 performance for Eason tonight.
Yeah, you'll take that from a starter, let alone somebody coming off the bench. You'll take that anytime. A tremendous effort.
That's close to 8 points above his season's average and close to twice his season's rebound average. He is the leading rebounder for LSU, averaging 7.7 coming into the game. Reed was called for the foul. And free throws coming for McNeese, trailing 68-30. With about 8.5 minutes remaining, Shoemate will be shooting. He's from Chicago.
Your next line change for LSU. You see 5 players waiting at the table.
And we will have a roar from the crowd.
Oh, the We Want Parker chant started early. It started with 9.5 to go.
Parker Edwards will come into the game, apparently, with this wholesale change for the Tigers. The legend of Parker Edwards. Couple of years removed from that amazing performance he put on when Southeastern Louisiana, Parker Edwards' original team, came in here, and Edwards scored 25 points in about 8 minutes.
Will Wade talked about him at one of the luncheons he had a couple of weeks ago that he does once a month down here in season to talk about the team. And he said, you know, everybody remembers him from that game against Southeastern. That's going up. There it is.
And a big smile on Parker Edwards' face. He said, hey, I got 7 more in me.
Look at the bench. It rivals the smile on the coaching staff and the bench, and Will Wade smiling. But to his point about Parker, he said, you know, when it comes to practice, he does everything right. He does everything you want to do. Yes, the student body loves him, and yes, LSU fans fell in love with him because of the performance he put on. But he said, you know, when it comes to practice and work, he does everything you want him to do the right way. So he's got no problem putting him in and letting him fly.
How about this? The biggest roar of the night from the LSU crowd came in a 40-point lead when Parker Edwards hit the 3. 8 minutes exactly are left. Parker Edwards
with this cheering for him as he comes in and scores 25, hits 6 3-pointers in a span of about 11 minutes and won him over to the fact that he came to LSU having left Southeastern.
And Parker Edwards takes the charge.
Well, I'll just tell you that Will Wade talked about what he does right. 7 field goals, 6 3-pointers, 5 free throws on that night for 25 points. Take another look here at the defense. Watch him slide over to his left to hold position. And there's the dish off, but not the dish to the big man, but ran right over Edwards. You know, and that's what we talked about. In that game, he had nothing to lose. The game was over. He could just let it fly, and everybody had fun watching it. When we saw him come in the UL Monroe game, back when Will Wade was acknowledging the students, saying, I hear you, just give a moment. Now the pressure's on. You're wearing the home colors. Everybody wants to see you launch and expect you to hit 6 in a span of about 8 minutes. So that first game, remember that first shot was well off, and you could tell the nerves had gotten into him. Ironically, his 3-pointer comes on a drive to the lane and an and one. Tonight, it was nice to see him just get that corner shot where he's comfortable, hit it early. Takes all the pressure off.
Eric Gaines is trying to gather himself after leaving some skin on the floor. There's Parker Edwards again. Gaines at the line. The real one. Moss can't work against Colbert. Now he does take it to the rim. A lot of traffic in there, and LSU takes it away. And this thing is getting very, very physical in a hurry. Shoemate is called for the foul. And let's see who goes to the line for LSU. It will be Fudge. Alex Fudge out of Jacksonville, Florida. Averaging 6 points off the bench. He's got 4 tonight. He has not scored in the second half, and that is blocked inside by a couple of Cowboys. This time Edwards is called for the foul, I believe.
Let's take a look at the drive going around Pinson. I think they got Pinson for the call.
They did.
Reaching around and slapping down as Edwards got the contact afterwards, but a strong drive there by TJ Moss.
Moss started his career at South Carolina. This young man wants to be a fashion designer when he concludes his basketball career. He had 17 points and 5 assists against TCU earlier this year, did TJ Moss.
Yep, that was his career high.
Pinson with the floater. Fudge couldn't get the timing on the offensive tip. Fudge goes back inside. Contact. Fudge scores. Offensive foul. Take away the bucket.
Right idea to go baseline. One too many dribbles. Made the body contact. After LSU got that second chance opportunity.
6 minutes, 36 seconds to go. McNeese will host Carver College on the 22nd of this month. That's at 6:30, the next Cowboy game. Carver College on the 22nd in Lake Charles. And then 6 road games in a row, including trips out west to Seattle and Wyoming. Free throws coming for his Worro out of Torrance, California. The lefty makes the first one. A 6'8" freshman had a couple of points against ULM and Texas State off the bench. Here's a Worro, 1 for 2 at the stripe. LSU has doubled up McNeese plus a bucket.
Bit of a force there for the Tigers.
Shoemate working hard. Fadeaway from 15. No good. Rebound taken off by McNeese. And the Cowboys will get another try here, but a pass deflected. And here comes LSU. Throws it away. Moss. Stutter dribble. Nice pass down low. Good lay-in from Moss to Shoemate. Well done that time by the Cowboys.
Beautiful pass in transition to get that steal, and a nice bounce pass on the baseline.
So we will double-double performer for LSU is Tari Eason. His third double-double this year. He's got 19 points and 14 rebounds. 19 points is his season's high. 14 rebounds is his career high. So a very nice night again off the bench for Eason. Working hard for that bucket is Izaguirre.
And not much you can do with that size. That's great coming off that bench. 6'8", 248 for the freshman from Torrance, California.
This will be a held ball. And the arrow will go to McNeese. Just under 5 minutes to play. Garrett Gaines comes back in the game for the Tigers. And Pinson will go to the bench, may be done for the night. Pinson has 8 assists tonight, and that ties a career high, Victor.
That number is gonna get moved, promise you. He'll surpass that. You can see how he's settling in at the point guard position. Had a chance tonight. Just Tigers missed some shots early with that slow start, but he is something to watch the way he can handle the ball.
Parker Edwards. 2 3 balls for him off the bench.
And liking that corner three too, where he hit his first one.
Nicely done. Underneath the rim by Miles Lewis. Three minutes and 45 seconds remain. Alley-oop and the stuff. That one was set up, and Alex Fudge was biding his time in the corner. Cut to the bucket. The alley-oop was right on his hands for the flush. A rim rocker by Alex.
Team start making its way into conference play.
Those games against Penn State and either Wake Forest or Oregon State are part of the Emerald Classic in Florida. Shoemate with the bucket for McNeese. McNeese was recently rewarded. In fact, Lake Charles and all of Southwest Louisiana recently rewarded by the Southland Conference. Gaines with the bucket for LSU. And of course, that area has been so hard hit the last few years with a series of hurricanes and tornadoes and other malady. And Victor, the Southland Conference has announced that Lake Charles and McNeese will be hosting the basketball tournaments, the baseball tournaments, and the softball tournaments starting next year for a 4-year run. And that's going to infuse some much-needed financial support and economic activity into that Southwest Louisiana area.
And those decisions were made because of McNeese's extension is to stay committed to the Southland Conference. In an era where so many teams are switching conferences and jumping around trying to keep everybody straight, you need your own roster list just to keep track of where some of these teams are landing. McNeese committed itself to stay Southland Conference, and the conference rewarded them to bring a lot of the championship activity to Lake Charles.
McNeese is the part of the original cast of the Southland Conference and has not wavered. Parker Edwards trying to take it inside. That's not his position. He loses it right into the hands of a teammate. And the layup is good by Fudge. 83-41. Fudge has 8 points. Let's check that. That was Gaines on that bucket with 10 now. So he's in double figures. Fudge with 8. Parker Edwards in the game with a couple of 3-pointers. Ooh, the big guy gets loose underneath. Is Aguero.
How about those quick hops, too, for a man that size to be able to get up that fast?
LSU on the move. Fudge wheeling and dealing. Parker Edwards wants it on the other side of the court.
I think the student body sections screaming for him made McNeese aware they forgot where he was. He was standing on his own for quite a while.
He'll take it right here. Jump shot on the way. Rattles out. A groan of disappointment comes up from the crowd. And a big flush by McNeese with Shoemate getting it done. And here come more Tigers.
One other story, too, that I wanted to mention is, and I wanted to congratulate somebody. For Parker Edwards, I wanted to congratulate Brandon Landry, former Tiger, years gone by, and he's the owner of Walk-Ons. And one thing they've been doing now, especially with all the NIL, is they've been awarding and rewarding walk-ons throughout the country. And right as the season started, in fact, they just posted it on social media, they came and congratulated Parker Edwards that they were going to invite him as part of the walk-ons team with the NIL. But also the fact of going to grad school, and walk-ons is going to cover his cost for grad school here at LSU to finish up because of being a walk-on. And I just thought it was a great moment for a former Tiger. In fact, Brandon even pulled out his old practice jersey, and he came and took some shots with Edwards on the floor, and they sat right on the end of that bench. Brandon was telling me, this is my seat now, it's your seat, and everything you do. Certainly a fan favorite, but I thought that was just a classy move by Brandon, a former LSU Tiger, great guy in the community here in Baton Rouge, to reward him, and it really took Parker Edwards by surprise. If you want to go find it, you can look up on Twitter, look up the Walk-Ons handle, and watch their conversation, and you can see he did not expect that coming.
Adam Benayoun is in the game for LSU. He wears number 25. Darrell Colbert is in the game for the Tigers. He wears number 20. Brandon Egemo is in the contest. He wears number 10. He's got the ball. He'll dribble it out. And this one is over.